Okay, so we often get asked about feeding your fish seaweed, and certainly for grazing fish that can be a brilliant food. Personally, I tend to rely more on feeding good quality flake food than on feeding seaweed, but feeding seaweed is an option and some people do prefer it. I find it a little bit more messy and a little bit more expensive, but you know, it depends what is more suitable for you. If you are feeding seaweed, there's two main things to bear in mind, or three main things to bear in mind. First of all, you need to put enough seaweed in that it lasts all day. The point of the seaweed is it gives the fish something to graze on all day long. So if it's all gone in 5 minutes or an hour, then it hasn't really served its purpose, and you might as well have just added more flake or something in the one feed. So if you are adding seaweed, you need to put enough in the morning so that there's just the tiniest scrap left in the evening, and it's quite surprising how much they will eat in that time. Also bear in mind, particularly if you've got one large tang or a more aggressive tang or several lots of tangs, it's worth putting the seaweed in two locations as well. So put some at one end of the tank and some at the other end of the tank. Make sure you use a lettuce clip and replace it often as well. Clamping it in an algae magnet can often lead to increase the chance of the algae magnet cracking and giving metal poison into the tank. Algae magnets I'm not a fan of anyway because they tend to scratch glass and often leach metals. Use a proper lettuce clip and put half of it at one end, half at the other end, and hope that it lasts the right amount of time. Or you also need to bear in mind that you need to feed the right type of seaweed. You can get seaweed in health food shops and supermarkets, but this is usually roasted and destroys a vast amount of the vitamin content, so it's much less beneficial to the fish rather than one that's specifically designed for fish. Also, primarily people mainly feed green seaweed, but if you look at most of the acantharous tangs, things like powder blues, sohols, things like that, mostly eat reds and brown seaweeds in the wild, as do most of the zebrasomas such as sailfins, yellow tangs, things like that. So if you've got zebrasoma tangs or acantharous tangs, you want to be feeding brown and red seaweed primarily, and you really want to be feeding green seaweed, things like regal tangs and the various types of nassos and bristletooths. Also make sure you check out our other videos on feeding fish.